It becomes easier to accept opportunities that you may feel like you're not ready for. You may feel like you need to prepare more for. It becomes easier to go in front of a crowd and tell everyone about who you are, who you want to be, who you have been. It's easier to go out in public and talk to a random person in the street. It's easy to be confident when you walk into a room. It's easy to have a higher self-esteem. It's easier to love yourself more. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Hello, we're back, and it's Deirdre here, and I'm excited. I'm excited today, getting the vibes right. It's a little bit after Valentine's Day. I got some cute stuff from my coworkers, a little red wine, so we're gonna get a little tipsy today. And I'm setting the vibes with a candle, of course. So, see if I can ASMR this. Yes. Okay. Next, wine. I'm excited. Crack her open. I love Sutter Home. Affordable and tasty. Yes, ma'am. Are y'all a red or white wine fan? I'm definitely more of a white wine, but I could do a good Merlot. I could do this red, just not super dry, because that shit just doesn't taste good to me. When I was studying abroad in Spain, I swear like half of the red wines would smell like buttermilk. If you know what I mean, like, I hated it. So today we're talking about uncomfortability. We all know we hate it. It doesn't feel good in the moment, but later, the accomplishment, the joy, the fulfillment, it's worth it. And I saw a good quote, as we do here, that said, if you want to change, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. There's no more truthful statement than that I've heard of before. Every fear you overcome causes growth, healing, change for the betterment of your life. And the only way to do that is by going through the uncomfortability of that situation, of that experience, to reach the other side of those beneficial outcomes. Comfortability, I feel, keeps us so stagnant in life. You know, every time I feel like I'm stuck or something, I know I need to do something different. I think this even comes to when you feel a lack of motivation, a lack of inspiration to do things in life. You just feel like you're in a rut, like you're in a cycle of negativity, sadness, depression, procrastination, all those things. The only way to get out of them is to get uncomfortable being outside of that sadness. Although it's hard to be sad, to be depressed, to be procrastinating all the time, to be unmotivated, the only way to move out of that is going to be a little bit harder, and that is by getting uncomfortable, by moving yourself from that space of being comfortable in your lack of change. We are so easily stuck in our habits. That's why so many of us don't go anywhere. Excuse me. That wine is getting to me already. I'm a big woman and I wanted to get tipsy, but I don't think this is gonna be enough. Are you doing the uncomfortable things? And if you aren't, why not? What is holding you back? 9 times out of 10, our mind holds us back from the physical things that we do in this life, the actions that we take. They say when you're running a mile, when you're running a marathon, your mind will give up before your body will. Once you get over that hump, once you are able to reach that peak, to plateau, you've trained your mind to understand this uncomfortable feeling will pass. This uncomfortable feeling will lead to the joy, the excitement, the happiness, the accomplishment, the success that you're looking for. How many of your favorite influencers, entrepreneurs, actors, artists have talked about these moments that they've had in their life where they had to step into that uncomfortability and that catapulted them to a new level in their career? We have enough evidence. So what is stopping you? Just the feeling of uncomfortability? I'm going to get to it later, but I'll just show you what steps you can take to get okay with being uncomfortable. If I take it back to those celebrities, Moni McMichael, one of the biggest, fastest growing influencers on TikTok, is literally always talking about how her anxiety and her fear shows up in her life, even through all these amazing things and experiences that she's had, the confidence that everyone sees that she has and she exudes. It's like you have to do things despite those feelings that scare you, because as she says, every time she does that thing, she always feels good about it in the end. You know, the reason she is so successful is because she takes those opportunities that maybe she doesn't feel like she should be qualified for. She doesn't understand why she's in this position, but acting as that person is boosting her confidence in that moment, is boosting her ability to feel like she is meant to be in the spaces that she is, because she is. We're all worthy to be where we want to be. We just have to act like it and feel like it no matter what, story our mind or our anxiety is telling us, or our depression, or whatever things run through our thoughts. I know I was on a roll, but I'm thirsty. Zendaya. So many of us see her as this fashion icon who, could be a top model if that was her primary career path. And she says that I literally started going through a carpets that I wasn't even supposed to be at. I wasn't necessarily invited to, but I came and showed up with the outfits and the walk to be there, to be seen, to insert myself into a space where I wanted to be, where I wanted to grow in. It's like you have to actively take the steps to get out of your comfort zone, to put yourself in spaces that you feel are going to propel you to the next level. And my last example, Bob Marley. If you guys just watched the movie, I just watched it yesterday. He's a good one too. It's like he got shot the day before he was about to have the peace concert in Jamaica, before he moved to London. He had to make a decision, a very uncomfortable one. Am I going to put myself in danger tomorrow of possibly getting killed? This one's a bit of an extreme situation, but am I going to do this because it feels like something I have to do to change the world, to put my impact on the world? Or am I just gonna chicken out, not do it because I'm fearful of what could happen? And he did it. And it really changed the whole trajectory of his career. Although it made him have to flee from the country for a bit of time for his own safety, that was the only way that he was going to gain that momentum and popularity in London, around the world, in the US, that transferred into the message that spread across the whole world. It's like these moments of discomfort that we choose to step into are meant for our growth, for our transformation. It's the only way it's going to happen. You do the same thing every day, you cannot expect a different outcome. And even when you do get to the outcome, the goal, you create a new one, you create a new dream. So you will never run out of instances to become uncomfortable. And as you become more comfortable with getting uncomfortable, you will literally see how quickly your life can change. It's getting hot in here. Is it the wine? And I don't want to just talk about other people that I've seen, I also want you guys to know from my own experiences, like taking risks and being in uncomfortable positions is the only thing that has gotten me to the point of understanding what direction I want to go in my career, changing my career paths, moving myself to Atlanta alone. So many things I wouldn't have done if I let fear take over. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but there are people in my life who are inspired by the things that I do. And I really am grateful and appreciate that, because don't think that I'm not scared doing it. Like, people will look at me and they're like, wow, you did this, you did that, you did that. Like, I could never. And yes, you could. First of all, you definitely can. It's just, you have to realize that, is that fear worth the possible greatness that could come out of this thing that you think is going to ruin your life? Or whatever the fear is, break it down. Dive into what you think is going to happen that's really holding you back. What's the worst possible outcome? And is it that bad? Is it that detrimental? Is it just a feeling that is fleeting, that's stopping you from a potential amazing thing? I literally rewired my mentality on what I wanted in life. Before, I was hyper focused on this one future I had, owning a bakery. I love baking. It's a passion of mine. I love designing. I love recipe creation. But the path that I was taking did not align with the future that I saw for myself. And moving to Atlanta was a huge factor in me meeting new people in the industry that I had never seen before, that I had never talked to before, that gave me insight into things I had never known about, or industries within baking that I did not know existed. Getting on here every day, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and sharing my thoughts, or motivating or inspiring you in different ways, like that in itself. 2 years ago, I was like, no, I don't think I'll do that. I was too scared of what other people might see. And I still get fearful. My sister just found this account. My cousin found this account. And 2 of like my older cousins and aunts found this account. And every time I see that they like my stuff, I'm like, ugh. Not that I don't think this shit is good. The content is quality. But I still like, I'm scared. It feels a type of way, but I get over it. Because I see what impact the words that I'm trying to share with the world are having. And that is much more important to me than what someone may think of this being cringy, or this being weird, or them feeling that I don't have the credentials, them feeling like, girl, you're talking to 300 people. Just a lot of people. 300 views, that's a lot of people. You have to reach a point where you don't care. You have a vision, you see where it's going, and you just follow it. You don't need any proof, because the proof is, I don't know, I've just reached this point of confidence in what I put into the world, and the impact that it's going to have, and the growth and the success and the abundance that's going to enter my life, that I do what I do. I have a process, and I'm not worried about when it's happening. I'm just doing it because I know the outcome will come to fruition. Timeline is just not under my control. Speaking in front of audiences, this is one that I'm still working on, y'all, and I don't think I'll ever fully get over it. I see myself possibly doing motivational speaking events, and I have spoken in front of like a high school before. A couple people asked, just to like tell my journey in entrepreneurship, and doing that in itself, so fucking scared, y'all. I'm like, my stomach is curdling. I don't think that's a good saying. My stomach is rolling in knots, and I'm like struggling. But I get up on the stage, I give a little speech, everyone's like, wow, that was so great. And it doesn't feel great to me. Like, when I'm doing it, it doesn't feel as good as it is to others. And that's the thing, y'all. Like, the perception of yourself is often not what others see. You can be so hypercritical or overcritical of the things you put into the world, but many other people will find it so amazing, so valuable, that, like I'm telling you, don't believe that the things you can do don't matter, don't mean anything, because they do. But I'm just saying, like, that in itself, afterwards I was like, like, I've overcome something. I feel good about it. I know I can do it, and I will do it again. And so for me, something I do want to do this year is like take more classes for public speaking, go to more events where I have to put myself in that position, leadership, because I don't know what it is in me, but I see myself being in spaces where I'm talking to people, talking in front of people. And I want to be ready for that in whatever way I can. Because when I do put myself in those positions before an opportunity comes to me, I'll feel more inclined to take it, because I've been getting comfortable with getting uncomfortable. The even more beautiful thing is that a lot of these things that you go through that are discomfort lead to something that so many people are looking for, and that is confidence. Confidence in yourself, in your abilities, in how you walk in a room, in the energy that you exude to people. Overcoming a fear will give you that 100%, 10 times over. And even if you don't feel it, you will look like it. So I feel like let's get to the nitty gritty. Like, what are things that you guys can do to get uncomfortable? 1, bad habits. Bad habits are the bane of our existence, y'all. It is us being too comfortable in the life that we are living or in the suffering that we are living to make any changes to get out of it. And so starting with one bad habit, get rid of it. Take your time. Don't take on too much at one time, but tackle it. It's often our bad habits that keep us in a loop, in a pattern where we keep reliving the same problems in our life, attracting the same things that we don't want, and not creating the change that we desire in our lives. And until we get over those bad habits, it will continue. What do they say? A lesson will keep coming into your life until you learn it. And if you don't, expect it to happen again. Number 2, seek out the discomfort based on your personal fears, your personal anxieties. You know, if you have social anxiety, go to a place, mingle with new people, take a friend with you. If you want to ease into it to where you're not gonna trigger yourself so bad. You know what I mean? If you're stuck in being unmotivated and uninspired, the only way to get out of that is to do something, take action, because I've realized motivation is not going to take you to the end all be all. You need discipline. Motivation comes and goes. When it's not there, what are you going to do? Still take action or no? If you have a fear of being seen, show up more authentically like you do at home with yourself, dancing by yourself, doing whatever it is you do, and go do that in public around people. And find out that people will love you for who you are, and also learn how to handle those that don't. AKA, learn how to not care. Number 3, let go. Let go of the overthinking. Let go of the control. I know so many of y'all got the same problem, but the overthinking causes you to sabotage the future, sabotage your possibility of going to something that's uncomfortable because you're thinking about the mistakes you might make, the negative outcomes, the embarrassment, the feelings that you don't want to feel. Negative, negative, negative. Flip it around. How about we think about the positive things? How about we think about what good could come out of it, what excitement, what joy could come out of it instead, because that will stop you from even getting to the point of trying something out. Letting go of overthinking is so important because it reminds me of the balance between the present, living presently, and also thinking of your future, which I feel like we have to do both. And often we misinterpret the idea of living presently as not planning for the future, as just living day to day on a whim. But no, it's knowing of a future outcome that you want, living presently while you take the actions to get there, letting go of the thoughts of the negative outcomes or trying to control when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. It's like, live presently, enjoy the journey, trust the process, but have an outcome in mind, have a direction, take the actions that you have to take to get there, but don't worry about anything else. Live in it while you're doing it and end up forgetting about the outcome to the point where you don't feel pressure. And my last and favorite thing to continue to get comfortable with being uncomfortable is relishing in the feeling that you have once you get over the hump, once you reach the plateau of that uncomfortability, once you get to the joy and the happiness and the feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of success and the opportunities that arose from that uncomfortability. Sit in that, feel that, and remember it every single time you're about to decide if you want to put yourself in another uncomfortable position, because that will remind you that, yeah, it's worth it. Every time you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it, because the the benefits that I will reap after I get over this feeling of anxiety or stress or fear, it's going to be so much greater than that short stint of uncomfortability. And just think of how powerful you're going to become once you know the positive benefits, once you felt it before and you're like, yep. It becomes easier to accept opportunities that you may feel like you're not ready for. You may feel like you need to prepare more for. It becomes easier to go in front of a crowd and tell everyone about who you are, who you want to be, who you have been. It's easier to go out in public and talk to a random person in the street. It's easy to be confident when you walk into a room. It's easy to have a higher self-esteem. It's easier to love yourself more. Like, do you get what I'm saying? All of these things are so interconnected. Your change, your growth, your healing, it can all come from something as simple as putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. And that is amazing and beautiful in itself. Is it not? Is it not? Let's talk about it. Come on. I mean, tell me about a time in your life where you literally did one thing that you would have never done before. You would have never done 5 years ago. You would have never done last year. And tell me how it changed your life. I want to hear it in the comments. We're reaching the end. I think I'm feeling it a little, but I also can't tell if I'm just tired because it's like 11:30 p.m. right now. And that's okay. If you guys are in Atlanta, we could go to an event together, a public speaking event, because they have so many, and I've been trying to get it on my schedule to do, because I think that for anybody in this world, which we know public speaking is one of like the top fears among everyone in this world, and whatever career you're in, public speaking is a huge asset to you. It doesn't matter what career path, what industry, like there's always a benefit from that. And that is also such an uncomfortable position to put yourself in that can reap so many benefits. I'm Deirdre Monet, y'all. If I haven't said it already, I don't think I did. And please like, subscribe, join the family, join the crew. I have a little self-care on the side, but I'm here to motivate y'all, to inspire y'all, because I know so many people have so many dreams and goals that they don't pursue because fear holds them back, or feeling like they're not good enough. And I need y'all to get over that, because it's 2024. Look at the state of the world. If not now, when? If not now is the time to truly throw yourself into being 100% you, following 100% of your dreams, when it's going to be the time? I'm just saying, because I love y'all and I want y'all to live your best life. So I'll see y'all next week. Please leave me a comment about what y'all want to talk about. I do have a scented cocoa butter recipe coming out for self-care this Wednesday. So check that out too if you want to see it. And wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, good morning, good evening, good night. I love you. Goodbye.